Good evening. Okay, here are my modified lessons. My lessons included a unit on transformations. And basically, we wanted the students to be able to explain in their own words each transformation, which included translations, reflection, rotation, and dilation. We wanted them to explain how they moved across a coordinate plane. I did list a few misconceptions that the students could possibly have and that I noticed. And then, of course, we wanted always for the students to always pull from their funds of knowledge. This particular lesson, on the lessons, we wanted it to be heavy on vocabulary so that students can understand one, which transformation was happening, but also within the transformation, we wanted to definitely have an understanding of keywords such as congruent, orientation, figure, vertices, things like that. So, vocabulary was very important. Also, okay, no, we're just going to move into breaking down the lesson. So I wanted to show a little bit of the original lesson so you can kind of see how it looked versus the modified. So here's the original lesson. Please excuse this. Whoa. So this is just a warm up, but when you get into the actual lesson, one thing that I noticed about the original lesson is that it's really wordy. And then after that, here's the engage. And although it is doing exactly what we wanted to do, we do want the students to identify the transformation that's happening. We do want them to identify keywords, and we do want them to understand the line of reflection. But we just wanted to make it a little bit more culturally relevant. So that's the one thing that I noticed in the district lessons is that it's just very wordy. And so I just wanted to be a little bit more relevant and engaging. So that was just a glance at how the original lesson looks. And we're going to move on to the modified lesson. So 90% of our school love soccer. Girls, boys, we have one of the number one soccer teams in our district. They love soccer. And honestly, I was not that into soccer, but because our school is so into it, I have become into it as well. So I did my lunch at this is a video and it shows transformations through soccer. It's really cool because it shows how there are different shapes that are located on the field, and then it shows real life transformations that are happening. It gives an example of translation, rotation, and also is translation, rotation, and reflection. The only one that doesn't happen is dilation. Okay. Now we're moving on to the Explorer that I use. So I wanted to get each student to identify what is happening with each emoji. So we want to identify the transformation and then also have the student identify the keyword. So on the first one, we see that the emoji slides. And so what we wanted the students to realize is that that's a transformation, I'm sorry, a translation, and that the keyword for that is slide. Next, we have a reflection. We wanted them to look at how the eyes are connected so that you can tell that that actually flipped. So that's our keyword. And then when you go down, I'm sorry, to the next one, we see that that actually turned. So that will be our rotation keyword turn. And then in the last one, you see that the figures are actually different sizes. And so we want to show that it's either made bigger or smaller. And so those were a few of our key words that we wanted students to hang on to. And then we just went into Congress and talking about definitely more vocabulary because that's very important. But then also we pre-image and image is very important. Pre-image is our original number our original coordinates and image is our new coordinates. So we phrase the pre-image as the OG, and then we have the new image. And the kids, our scholars really did enjoy that. And that's something that they really do notice right away. Okay, here's the OG, here's the image. And that helps them throughout each transformation. So, and then I also included just more soccer references and just to make it a little bit more relevant to a sport that they really like. And then our exit ticket just continue to go over reflection and its rules. So that's my lesson. The first lesson went over transformation, the second lesson went over reflections. But I did want to show, oh, before I do that, we another thing that's very important is that our scholars remember the rules. So what we have them do every day is to write down this table because on the test they can write this table. We cannot give them the information, but they can write this information themselves. So we've been teaching them to write this. So we have taken notes and we wrote this and our scholars have to write this every day. So we start with translation. The important part is changing x that goes left and right, and if it goes left we're thinking about a number line, minus, going right, plus. If it changes y, that's up and down. We're also thinking about a number line, plus and minus, or negative and positive. Then reflection, we're teaching them if you go over x, change y. If you go over y, change x. Then rotation table, we have taught the scholars clockwise and counterclockwise. And then also how we set the table up is going 360, 90, 180, 270, and then of course counter that way. But on the rule, we have them going, it's kind of like a song, and it's X X, Y, Y, X, X, Y, Y, X. And then we start from the bottom and we go left, right. And that's how they do like the negative signs and they actually remember it. And then dilation is new over old, and then finding, and that's how you find a scale factor. And then the rule, it's K times X, which K being the scale factor and K times Y. And we want them to know that if it's smaller than one, that makes the shape smaller. If it's bigger than one, it makes the shape bigger. But they write this every day, and they're going to do that up into their unit test, so that even though we can't give them the information, they know this by memory and they're able to write it. So just adding little songs, just kind of like how we used to sing A, B, C, D, or just little songs you just remember that left, right. And even with just saying the X, Y, Y, X, X, Y, Y, X, they just remember that. And just keywords like OG, just different things. It just sticks in their mind. And then by me actually doing soccer references, they actually like that as well. So those are my lessons, but I did want to show up a just a clip of me in the classroom. This is the part where I was actually teaching. We had moved on to dilation, and we're talking about scale factor. Just a small clip. Okay, so how did you all plot? Well, how did you start number 5? No one, someone said it. So we're looking for the scale factor. So how are we starting that? Someone said the coordinates. So what was what did they say we would need? New over old, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
the new is the one on the inside. It's the smaller version.
Right, and you know that because of what? How do you know that? Yes. So you know this is our new, this is our old. Choose one point. That's all you need to do. Choose one point. Once you choose that point, then you choose the coordinate for that. So here for the new, what is it? What is B for the new?
B for the new is 0 and 4. 0 and 4, and then for the new one is no. And then for the
I can see. Okay, hold on. Maybe I'm confusing you. I'm sorry. So I only need.
So let's just give me y for b prime for b. Give me y for b prime and then the OG.
Oh, y is 8 for the OG, and for the new, how about it's 4.
Okay, so the new is 4, and then the old is 8. So we have 4 and 8. That's just like saying what? What's 4 and 8? Once we, there you go, 1/2. Okay, so we're writing a rule. Well, no, we're looking for the scale factor. So we found our two. Okay, let's go over steps. You find a point, right? Once you find that coordinate, you write the new one over the old, but it just has to match. So we do X with X, Y with Y. Just find 2, as long as it match, okay? So I decided to go with B. So B, this is Y and Y, okay? You see that? So the new is 4. The old is 8. I did 4 over 8. And then that, once we simplify that, that's 1/2. So 1/2 is a scale factor. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't? Okay. What part, hold on, what part doesn't make sense?
Where'd you get the one?
The fraction, no problem. Well, okay. Who understands? Why?
Okay. Well, that is just a clip of the lesson, but and no, actually, that's it. So I showed my new lesson, I'm sorry, the old lesson, my new lesson, and a little bit of um, how it went inside the classroom. So I look forward to your feedback. Thank you.